Greeneville coach Eddie Spradlen here at Burley Stadium. Just had some 7-on-7 with Abingdon out of Virginia, Boone and Carter. Coach, just kind of give us a summary of how today went and what you got accomplished.
First, we had a lot of good teams come up here. We try to get on 7-on-7s where we're just going to really work on the stuff that we need to work on. And those guys wanted to come up here and just work, and we put a lot of work in today. And, really excited about all the work that we got in. Our first team guys got a ton of work. Some guys starting to step up, which is big. But really just the big thing is just over and over on those little things that in our offense and defense that we got to get better for us to continue to get better.
It seems like you've lost like a whole slew of playmakers out wide both the last couple of years. Kind of talk about your wide receiver core and just that competition there at that position.
Yeah, it's I tell a lot of people this is probably one of the better groups that they're young but as talented as a group as we've had in a couple of years. Like you said, we graduated a lot of guys that caught a lot of footballs for us last year out there on the edge. Carson Quillen's going to be solely in the backfield right now. So, Zayden Anderson returns as a big-time playmaker for us out on the edge, but it's a wide open with a lot of talented young guys out there that we're excited about that can be special when they get the ball in their hands.
Your program's had so much success for a sustained amount of time. Just how does this team look like it may differ from other teams you've had? I know you still hadn't put the pads on yet, hadn't had any scrimmages or anything. A lot of questions left to be answered, but just from what you've seen so far, how different is this squad?
I think really similar to all the teams that we've had, but one thing that really stands out about this team to me is how they like to compete with each other, during practice, in the weight room, and come out here against other teams and just compete, and overall that's going to make us better in the long run.
You mentioned Carson Quillen, some other upperclassmen. Who are some of the other guys that are starting to emerge as captains, as team leaders, those type of guys?
Obviously it's going to start defensively with Drew Armbrister, returning all-state player who, really gets after it on defense. He's been the mind and getting us lined up for 3 years while he's been out there. A guy that's played a ton of football that, in a big-time semifinal game, he got hurt early in the first quarter, really hurt us last year, but I'm glad to have him back, and a true team captain. Brandon Iezzi, a big-time offensive line, defensive lineman, has really stepped up and really been good as a leader. So really excited about those guys, and I had a few more guys that are stepping in there. And we always say we're just going to be as good as that senior class is going to be, and that senior class has got to lead that football team. And one first and foremost with the energy that they bring every day, and it's going to encourage everybody. It can't be just me and my coaches trying to get everybody up every day. If we're going to be successful, it's got to be with those guys. And every good team that we've had here has been teams that are senior led, and I think that's what we'll have with this group.
And lastly, Coach, before you get into that schedule with Tennessee High and Morristown and Alcoa, some of those teams, Elizabethton, what do you think this team needs to improve on the most between now and, I guess, August 23rd or so?
We got to continue to get better. A lot of guys still learning our scheme. Like I mentioned before, we got a lot of young kids that are coming in there, but we just continue to get better in practice. Those senior leaders, we got to have some guys. We got a lot of positions that people are battling for. We probably got more competition at different positions than we've had, so that's going to be fun to find those new puzzle pieces to hopefully get us ready for week 1.